February is Black History Month, and you'll find themed material about Adventists and Black history in the Pacific Union Recorder, on our social media, and here on All God's People. Hello, I'm Connie Vandeman Jeffrey. The year 2020 marks the Sesquicentennial, or 150th anniversary of the ratification of the 15th Amendment in 1870, guaranteeing all male citizens the right to vote, regardless of their race. African Americans and the vote is the national theme for Black History Month this year. By the way, women waited another 50 years for the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920, which guarantees all American women the right to vote. Another anniversary to note and celebrate. Each week in February, Pastor Ricardo Graham will present a short segment at the close of each episode on Seventh-day Adventists and the civil rights struggle. You won't want to miss a single one, so stay tuned until the end. We love our students, every single one of them. And when we heard about the significant role that Riley, an 8th grader at Conejo Adventist Elementary School, took on this year, well, we just had to share it with you. Riley Ramirez decided to start up a handbell choir for the 1st and 2nd grade class. No one asked her to, she just did it. Riley started playing concert handbells in the 5th grade. One day when I was talking with my friends, we started talking about handbells, and I remembered how fun it was and thought to myself, I could teach handbells, Riley said. According to her teachers, Riley gives each student a high five and compliments them by name at the close of every handbell practice. She said she has learned that encouragement is a really big part of teaching. Wise words, Riley, and bravo. Unplug, learn, and connect with our Creator. These were the goals that Hawaiian Mission Academy schools had in mind last November, as principals from 3 HMA schools planned a revamped 3-day outdoor school focused on science and physical education. With 115 students in tow, HMA Kalamaiki, HMA Windward Campus, and Adventist Malama Elementary School pulled into Camp Waianae in Honolulu County on a toasty afternoon with excitement streaming from the students and their overstuffed bags. Outdoor camp was open to all 5th to 8th grade students. Camp Waianae is traditionally used as a summer camp and weekend getaway. And this school year, the camp gave students a break from the everyday learning routine and brought the classroom outside. Read the whole story in the February Recorder. Tomorrow, Sabbath, February 8, is the Adventist Television Ministries annual offering. For the ministries of Breath of Life, Faith for Today, It Is Written, and Jesus 101, your support means sharing more messages of hope and wholeness through television programs that make a difference. Next week, we'll take a look at what's happening at Faith for Today, the oldest television ministry in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And now, here's Pastor Ricardo Graham.
When Martin Luther King Jr. spoke at Oakwood College on March 19, 1962, nobody knew it would be a preview of his famous I Have a Dream speech containing many of the same phrases. After King had been turned away from a number of venues in Huntsville, leaders at Oakwood invited him to speak at the college's gymnasium. Some 3,000 people turned up to listen, many having to stand outside because there wasn't enough room. This experience led some of the Adventists present to embrace the civil rights movement and join King on his historic march to Washington the following year. Dr. Mervyn Warren of Oakwood was present when King spoke, and he has an audio recording. He says that hearing King speak was one of the highlights of his life. In that recording, King ends his speech as he did later in Washington. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. I'm proud that Oakwood gave Dr. King this opportunity to share what became such a momentous speech.
Thank you, Pastor Graham, for that inspiring story. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was fond of this text in Revelation 21:5 and often cited it in his sermons. Behold, I make all things new. Our hopes are expressed in these words, hope for our world, our country, for all those who are oppressed, and for our own lives. It is the future we long for. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you right back here next week.